academic and theory parts, these projects help you connect with the actual what, why, and how to do this electronic engineering. Okay, all these projects makes you correlate you with that, and actually that projects connect you to become a better engineer, just not the theory. Okay, and next one is if it ensures what is being delivered is right. So what does it mean by is engineer? An engineer as a uh, object has to be delivered correctly and has to deliver the real values that is necessary outside. So the whenever the engineering students go for a campus or go for an interview to the semiconductor companies or any electronic company, what they look for is what exactly you did practically during your engineering years. Okay, so that way only that is a very important criteria with which because I am one of the person who interviews the candidates for companies. So I've worked across so far 8 to 9 companies. So I have interviewed candidates from freshers to the senior level. Always I look for the what engineering project that candidate has worked on. So it is very important criteria because that gives you the real picture that how innovative or how what is your what is happening inside your mind, or just you have focused on your academic. That is not important. Okay, so that way practical experience is very important, and it connects you to what exactly how you will work in my company if I take you. Okay, that gives a clear picture. So that way it is showing your skills. Then next thing very important is for the projects, your project guides would tell you to create a group, and as a group you have to work. That group work gives you a way how you should work in a team, because company cannot be with a single person. So there is no and there is no company so far where engineers individually work. They always work as a team. Okay, so that group work, and at the same time how you have to learn individually and make your learning curve exponential. That all things comes that learning you get from the execution of the project during your engineering work. That creates a base for you. Okay, then how to plan with the limited time span that you have to work on the project. This planning, time planning, and the estimation, or the work that you have to arrange properly, because all these things you learn from project execution. Okay, how to express, how to show your what exactly you performed in your project. To explain that also you need to work on that project. It's not like just for the times you understood the project and then forget everything. That should not be there. Okay, these are the very important points. With that I go to the next one, the as a case study for this particular presentation. And okay, so there if you see the picture on the right side here, there's a chip that normally looks like it's a ASIC chip. Okay, and this is the case that I'm going to take for today's presentation. But at the same time I would like to request you that you don't limit yourself only to the semiconductor. There are so many embedded and wider other areas of electronics where you can work on, and your project can be there, like power electronics, communication, DSPs. So there are so many other areas, microcontroller, microprocessor. There also you can explore and have your ideas implemented as a project. So, but for today's this particular presentation, I'm taking VLSI as a case because I'm from that particular background. Okay, so first of all, I would tell you when and how this particular I landed into this VLSI industry. So I was like yours, you guys doing the third year engineering that time, and I did it from Shivaji University, Kolhapur in Maharashtra only. And while I was in the third year engineering, that is around 2000 year, and that time when we have to decide about the project, my project guide, Mr. Professor R.T. Patil sir, He was very enthusiastic and very, passionate to think about some innovative or some different things than the normal one, because he used to teach us electronic devices and circuits. And that at the same time, he was thinking of why so many discrete components, why so many digital components like counter, multiplexer, for everything, every gate, and gate, or gate, we have to have a separate chip, and to put it on the single board, it was becoming too complex to debug also. So he was thinking for and exploring for some innovative things, and then he came to know that there is something called as a VLSI. That is, semiconductor market is growing. When you are in the academics, when you are into the engineering college, you don't get to know what is happening outside. And that too, it was year 1999, 2000, when there was hardly any college was having internet connectivity to for the college students. And then that was like just coming, and we were just working on to the turbo C. That time he thought of like we should have some setup created here in our college for students to explore the VLSI, explore the semiconductor, what is semiconductor, and how the transistor, how this transistor size is getting smaller and smaller, and how the chips are getting smaller. All the logic, digital logic, it getting accommodated into a smaller and smaller chip. So for that, he thought of bringing that VLSI design topic as a elective subject in the final year engineering student for the final year engineering students. That time he asked this thing to students that if anyone is interested to have the project in VLSI, and that something struck in my mind that why not to elaborate, why not to explore this part, because no one else was looking for that. All the students were just behind the traditional projects. No one was thinking from innovation point of view. That time I thought of like let's take that challenge and explore in that direction. And then I told to Patil sir, let's have this particular project in our in as my final year engineering project. Then he motivated me and told me go ahead. And then I started finding for that, and I got to know even that was Kolhapur was a remote area where there was hardly there was no any institution who like CDAC now, they who help or who trains the students for their engineer for VLSI or embedded. Then I found one institute which was in Kolhapur, who helped me to who were there to guide the students for their engineering project. And I approached them, and they were ready to help me. And I opted for a single chip solution to provide for PLC. So the customer whose project I took was Menon Piston Rings Limited. If any of you guys are from Kolhapur in Maharashtra, they might be already knowing this particular company called as Menon Piston Rings Limited. It's a company who prepares piston rings for the automobiles, four-wheelers, and those piston they take the iron ring, and then they convert it into a proper piston ring, which gets put into the cars. So for that, there is a lathe machine, and that lathe machine is operated, you can call it as a CNC machine, you might have heard of. So the lathe machine has so many parts you operate onto the ring, raw iron ring, and convert. They do boring, and then do grilling, and so much of operations on that particular ring to convert it into the piston ring. So for all these operations, there was a controller called as a programmable logic controller. This also term you might have heard. PLC, which was a traditional PLC, was controlled through a microcontroller, and that was 8051 microcontroller. It's from more than this incident. That incident that I'm telling is 20 years back, and that particular PLC, which was into that company, was installed even 25 years back from that. So that is like now you can say it is like 45 years back. So for the 25 years that PLC was operating that CNC machine, and during that, with the so many of ICs on that particular electronic board, it had become too complex to debug if that particular PLC fails to operate. and because and they had some potent ladder diagrams. So from that, you have to convert it into the algorithm. First, that is a ladder diagram. You need to convert into the algorithm, and then you can code it. So that kind of PLC complexity was there, and then that company approached the institute uh, uh, for help, and then that project that institute gave me to work on. So finding that particular company and their project, that was the first challenge. Then every Saturday, Sunday, traveling from the college to the Kolhapur, that was another challenge. All these challenges I accepted, and successfully completed my final year engineering project into this VLSI. That was the first project in that particular VLSI area, and that was very much appreciated by my college. And that was a single chip solution. What I did is all that PLC logic, which was into the algorithm format, I converted into the Verilog code, and that and I programmed that particular Verilog code into the CPLD. You might have CPLD boards in and kits in your college. So that time also I had that CPLD boards very new that time, 20 years back. So I installed that into the and program that particular code, and then installed that particular code into the chip, and then that CPLD board was successfully put into the Menon Piston Rings company. That was my single chip solution for complete PLC. So all that AND gate, OR gate, all those particular complete parts, all ICs got replaced with my single chip called as a CPLD. It was a very innovative project. So, but there were so many challenges. As I said, you need to take, you need to face the challenges. You need to take the risk, and that's why I'm quoted here as a life is either a daring adventure or nothing at all. You have to take some risk, otherwise that you won't be successful in your life. These are your years where you have to put your sweat and blood to get successful in your future years. Okay. Next is the coming to the project. Expect the best, plan for the worst. During the project execution, you cannot guarantee how and will that project get successful. Failure is the first step. Okay, so you have to plan for the worst also. And these projects play a very critical role in your placement. As I said, when you go for getting the job into the campus or off campus, you have to have a very good project, and you should know thorough about that project. It's not like somebody from your project group is driving your project and others are just listeners. No, you have to have an active participation in your project execution. Okay. This project is a very first step towards your career growth. When I created that final year engineering project, that company for whom I worked after my engineering completion, they asked me to join them as a trainee engineer because they saw the potential, they saw the hard work that I put during my project execution, and then I joined that company as a trainee engineer. Okay, and there my career started. So that's why, as I said, this is a very important step. You create your visibility outside your college, then only you can that is the first step where you shine and you create your visibility, and that is giving you a path to your career. Okay, so and this project basically it creates a step for you that way that you as I said here, a project is complete when it starts working for you rather than you working for it. It should be the step, like it should create such a shine and such a visibility that you should not be there to who is looking for a job outside, rather that because of that project your TPU cell, other companies, they should ask you, please join this particular company's interview, please come and join us. Like that should be the visibility that you should create from your project. And for the project ideas, don't go with so much like very innovative. The ideas come just from the existing things. It's not like you should do all research and everything. Research is for research. There are so many years of experience that you need. You need not to jump into all that. Your research starts with the existing itself. As I said, The just example that I told you, it was a PLC, which was a very uh, complex to debug. So many wirings were there. And from that, we thought of a solution to provide them, which will be a single chip rather than having so many chips on that board. So this is one of the very innovative idea that came here. And for that, I need not to go into so much of innovation and everything that I need to do, right? So from the existing things only, you can find some innovative ideas. Next, coming to next slide, I'm about to tell is about the for a VLSI as a semiconductor, how the project gets converted into a product. Okay, so when a particular company, like let's say, I will take the example of a 5G market. Okay, so there was a 2G, 3G. If you remember that time, network connectivity was very problematic. Even the calls were getting disrupted, and then you need to rely on you're always looking for some high speed connections. And this 2G, 3G, LTE, those were not enough to provide that particular bandwidth. And then somebody thought of like how to increase the bandwidth, and they decided of having the instead of 4-lane Ethernet, let's have a 16-lane, let's have a 32-lane. That way decided that let's increase the data bandwidth by which we can have a more higher speed for internet. And with that, they decided of let's have a 5G, let's have a 4G. Even before 4G, there was a 5G idea in some people's mind. And they decided, and companies start investing in that idea, and they hire engineers for that, and they create the product specifications. So then they put all these things which I told, like 4-lane instead of 4-lane, let's have a 16-lane, let's have a 32-lane, communication between different chips and all that. Those people who think of all these things are called as architects. They decide and think of planning, because one person cannot do everything. So there are dedicated people into the companies. They are called as the architects who decide how this innovative idea can be implemented. So they create a architecture. Then once the architecture is created, that goes to the designers. There are people who are hardcore coders. They really like coding. This is very genuine request to all you guys, take C language and C++ language learning very, 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 very much seriously, because that is the base for any industry. You go to microcontroller, you go to VLSI, any industry outside, C and C++ programming is the base. All the languages, Verilog, and programming languages, assembly language, all the base of them is the C language. Okay, so please seriously do your C assignments, C++ assignments. Now, these are the logic design coders who do the programming that convert into the actual design code. Then this designed code goes to the verification engineer. So verification engineer, what it does, where as a humorly, I always tell that designers think constructively, whereas the verification engineers like me think of destructive mind. Destructive mind in the sense, whatever the code is written, where I can find the bugs. So I always think of negative scenario, how to break this particular design code. Which are the possibilities where this design will not work? That is called as a negative scenarios. I always think of that. That's why I mean, as a fun, I'm telling this. I think of a destructive mind, how to find the bugs in this design. So I'm a hardcore design verification engineer. Okay. So I always, whenever a design code comes to me, I first go through the specification, understand the design code, and then write down the test plan. So that is called as a verification plan. So I write down the test case design, testing, how I will do the testing. So, and then I write the test bench around the designed code to verify that design. And once that completely, I give the nod that this design is completely verified, 100% verified, then it goes to the next step, that is called as a that is called where it is checked that is it a verification criteria. It is called as a sign off criteria. That is called as all clean here. Okay, that verification people, that is me, if I give a green signal, then at the same time, this design goes to the physical design. Physical design is another team who works on placing that design code into the chip. So it's not like any block can be placed anywhere into the chip. This is again called as a placement and routing, that you have to design that particular in the chip, where should be the RAM, where should be the PCI controller, where should be the microcontroller. All these things we need to decide because the distance and the delay between the different components, that matters while the during the execution of the code. So that particular team is called as a physical design team. They do the different checks called physical layout, timing clean, all those checks they do. And when they also give the green signal, then the code goes for tape out, where this code goes to the fab, and in the foundry that gets converted into the chip. So again, that chip, you first get the test chip that comes again back to the silicon value for the silicon validation. But then again, it is validated, and then it goes for the mass production of the chip. Okay, this is a complete flow of a project to product journey. So any smaller idea that you have in your mind, start with that. Start creating the start connecting all the pieces that you have in your mind, and don't think that whatever in your mind it's not going to convert into the product. There are so many people, they come up with the innovative ideas and they landed it into a product. And current market, whatever outside pandemic that is going on, this is the actually it has created so many opportunities for so different innovative ideas in people's mind. Because what happened is, when you go to company, you just think of the project that you or the work that you are doing. Okay, whereas when people like me who are working from home, we have ample amount of time where we think innovative, and we don't have that burden or pressure that from my boss, that you have to get this done. Every now and then he's not coming to my desk asking where you reached. I have been given enough time to work on. At the same time, I have a peaceful mind where I can think innovative. So this is why even the companies, IT companies and semiconductor companies, they are motivating people to work from home. This is for your kind information. This pandemic, that's why I told, pandemic has created actually the great ideas, constructive ideas. Okay, next coming to the project career. So engineering project, that as I said here, hope begins in the dark. When you are right now into the academics, you might not have any clarity what is happening outside. If my current project is going to really get converted into the product or not, just think that hope begins in the dark, as I said here. You have to start with some idea, then you don't know where I mean it will go. Just don't think of like how and where you will be after 5-10 years and everything. Just think of your project, put with a great attitude. Attitude is very important towards the project. If you are honestly and with accountability, your dedication, everything you do your project, definitely you are going to get the fruits out of that. The same thing happened for me. My engineering project, as I said, it was a single chip solution for PLC, landed me into being a trainee engineer at BRC Pune, where I worked for more than 2 years. And there I worked for the same product for a different lathe machines. There were different kinds of lathe machines, and different lathe machines. We provided this solution to the Menon Piston Rings Limited, Kolhapur. Also, I parallelly worked on a product, embedded product. That was I will tell you the small. If I tell you that particular product, you will also think that that there are so many things just you can think of, and you will get so many ideas outside. For example, I'll tell this. This is called as a light manager. There it was a PIC microcontroller. We took PIC microcontroller 18F452, and that product was like, it has RTC, real-time clock, okay, and I2C bus. I did a C programming on a breadboard. I mounted that microcontroller. I mounted RTC. I mounted the DS1307 RTC and the LCD display. And I coded that particular microcontroller with a C program and where I told that PIC microcontroller to do the communicate with the RTC real-time clock and with the LCD. So small pieces of that particular C program that I wrote. Then I connected them to have a final product, and product was very simple. You can see there were so many hoardings you have, right? Yeah, on the shopkeeper that they keep glowing it whole night, right? And even in the morning when they reach the shop at 9 or 10 a.m., still the lights are on. That is unnecessary consuming and wasting the lights. This is the idea which I am telling you that was 20 years back. Now that has so much advancement and technologies has come, but I'm telling whatever that I'm telling is about 20 years back. So that time, this was very innovative idea. So what I did is I programmed that particular PIC microcontroller to communicate with RTC and to the LCD display, and there was a thumb wheel switch like a keyboard now. That time it was called as there was electronic instrument called as a thumb wheel switch, so which you can set your timing. So I set the time that from morning from evening 7 p.m. it should start. It should activate the relay. Then finally that relay will glow, make the bulb glow, and then morning as soon as that real-time clock was having the programming is set, that morning 7 a.m. that light should get off, right? So that's a programming code, and then that particular complete three pieces: PIC microcontroller, LCD, thumb wheel switch, and the real-time clock. All these four pieces we mounted on a proper PCB, soldered it, and put it into a very simple still box, and put the name as that name of the product as a light manager, and then we marketed that. So for your kind information, if might be you guys are not aware of, but your professor Praveen Gade, during my work here in the BRC Pune, he was working with me before joining the academics in your college. So that was a very initial years of my career where Praveen and I worked together in this company, and we successfully launched this product called as a light manager, and it worked very well. We had so many customers to whom we sold that. Okay, so this was initially yes. That's why I said for the innovative thinking, you need not to have a very research or something that you need to do at these years of your age. You can just think from the solutions which you have to, which we are facing so many problems outside. You can think from that angle. There are so many agriculture areas where you can think of solar-based tractor, solar-based drip irrigation system. Such a small ideas are there. You can start with those, and don't think that that particular project has to be your academic project. You have to start with that, and then your academic project will get shaped from that idea. Slowly, you can go on adding the complexity to the idea that you have in your mind. Okay. So as I said, this way my journey from engineering, finally engineering project to the training engineer, and then landing into the VLSI was. Then I have put some slides about my further journey, which I think Cheryl already told you, which is like later I moved to Bhabha Atomic Research Center as a VLSI design engineer. This is at Mumbai, you know, Bhabha Atomic Research Center. They do the our nuclear reactor is there, and I designed algorithm, DSP algorithm for that chip, which was doing the nuclear reaction related calculations. So that was very good project, which made my impression good, and then I landed into the design verification engineer job at ST Microelectronics. So as I said, initial years of my career, I was more into the design, more into the discrete component and LCD, embedded and VLSI. I was not having exact direction where I should go. That's why I worked on both projects, embedded as well as single chip solution, CPLD based single chip solution. Then I thought that I have my mindset or my interest is more into the design, digital design. Then that's why I looked opportunities for VLSI, and then way I landed into the design verification engineer job at ST Microelectronics Noida. This is at a Greater Noida in UP, where I worked for 6 years. Where I got an opportunity to work on different uh, ARM cores like ARM 968, Cortex R4, Cortex M3. These are the different ARM cores. Okay, these were like very initial years of where ARM was just coming up with different cores. And I was there in ST Microelectronics finding the bugs in ARM cores and reporting them. That way, we are consuming the ARM IPs and creating the subsystems using those IPs at the same time working for ARM company and finding the bugs in the processor itself. It was very much appreciated by the ARM company, and we collaboratively designed different subsystems and verified it. Okay, that time system Verilog and UVM, the latest in the VLSI, that was not there. It was VLSI, Verilog and VHDL languages only. Okay, then I joined Pune. After 6 years in ST Micro, I joined Wipro Pune. I worked here again for 6 years and worked on for different companies like Texas Instruments France, Microsemi USA, Intel USA, and verified different types of ICs like power management IC, which was having mixed signal, analog and digital. Then this very interestingly for Microsemi USA, which work for US aviation and military. All the aeroplanes have any aeroplane, it's more than 14,000 chips who operate and control that operation of complete aeroplane. So all those chips are predominantly till the last year, predominantly from Microsemi. And this Microsemi company that was now acquired by Microchip, and I was working there. So it was a mix of, you might have heard of this term, but it was a customized ASIC, which is FPGA and ASIC combined. That is a Cortex M3 subsystem was there, plus FPGA was there. So people have, customers have a flexibility to code their, put their program into the FPGA. And at the same time, they have standby ARM processor-based subsystem already inbuilt on the chip that they can utilize. So that was a very unique solution Microsemi had come up with, and I worked for them. Even then, working for them for 2 years, I worked for Intel USA through Wipro only. Worked for Intel USA for network router IP verification. So as I put emojis here, you can see why I mentioned put his emojis here is you have to motivate yourselves. You have to enjoy the work that you are doing. You cannot say that, every now and then I change the, because I'm bored of this and I'm changing my domain. No, you have to find innovation. If I like here, worked for 2 years into the Bhabha Atomic Research Center, and then I thought of exploring something different and increase my learning curve. That's why I changed the job and went into the ST Microelectronics. And I worked there for 6 years. And when I thought of I got a very good background on ARM processor, then I landed into joining the Wipro Technologies. So you have to motivate yourself, saying that keep it up. Great work you are doing, keep it up. You have to motivate yourself, join next company, and then still there is so much of things to do in our life. Okay, so then I joined Microsemi. While I was working from Wipro for Microsemi, then I directly joined Microsemi Hyderabad as a senior staff, and there I worked on a RISC-V processor. Some of you might have already knowing the RISC-V processor is a processor because this is a different unique processor, which is like there is so much of market acquired already by ARM processor. So I always hear of ARM, either Intel Pentium or ARM processor. But this is to avoid that particular race, or like right now, if you see all the laptops, Microsemi, and they are always a key player, or there is hardly any competitor for them. Even Apple is also not that great competitor for Microsoft. So so that way, for getting the that ARM processor, ARM company always was anyone, if you have to use the ARM IP for their project, you have to pay the royalty for using of that ARM IP. So that was something not cost effective for the semiconductor companies. So they thought of let's have some engineers come together and get some different processor implemented, which is even it should be customizable. Okay, So that way, some engineers came out of that particular mindset of having dependency on ARM, and they designed a processor called as a RISC-V processor. Okay, and this RISC-V processor is customizable. This is very, very competitive to ARM processor. Now ARM companies market, after getting this RISC-V processor into the market, ARM processor market has completely got down. So nothing is permanent in this world. As I said, even the corona is also not permanent. Okay, this phase also will go. Same way I'm saying here is the RISC-V processor subsystem I got to work on during my work with Microsemi. There also it was FPGA plus ASIC verification work. Here is a emulation term. Okay, I would like to tell you that emulation term. We always think of a simulation. So emulation is a term where what you do is you have a FPGA, a set of FPGAs put on a board, and you put your design in that FPGA. It is as good as you're designing your complete separate chip. When you put it into the FPGAs and try to simulate it, it is a very faster than the traditional simulation tools. So that terminology, that particular setup is called as emulation. So now so many companies are doing the Linux boot. You do right, Linux boot on a microprocessor. So Raspberry Pi or ARM processor, microcontroller. Whenever you do the Linux boot, it takes more than 19 to 20 hours. This I am telling about the project. If you try to boot the Linux, you put that Linux into the ROM and try to boot it, it would be more than 20 hours. So just to boot that particular Linux. So instead of that, if you have an emulation platform where it is a FPGA based platform, you try to put into that, it will be hardly in 10 minutes to get the Linux booted. So that platform is called the emulation. I got to work on that. And I joined Blaze in Hyderabad there only. That was on a graphics processor. I got to work on. And then I joined back. I came back to Pune and joined as a senior staff into Marvel. And I'm working on different complex IP and SOC verification tasks, which are related to 5G. There is still a long way to go ahead. So, I mean, so that's why I put here, quote here. No, if no one is willing to stand by you, you have to walk alone. You can't think that like you will have somebody grabbing your hand and they will help you. It's not like that. You have to decide your path, choose your path, and stick to that. So, as I said, nothing lasts forever, not even the coronavirus. And so stay home, stay safe, and fight hard. And every day may not be good, but there is something good in every day. Okay. So stay home and spend time with your family. This is my family. This is my son, my cute daughter, and beautiful wife. With that, I have put here my mobile number and email address. Please reach me for any VLSI or embedded related projects. I would be more than happy to help you all. Okay. Thank you so much. Any questions? I hope we are in time. Praveen sir, Santosh sir.
Any questions from student side?
Sir, there's one question.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
So I've heard a saying which compared the experience of embedded system designers to that of a doctor. Embedded system designers are like doctors. The more time they spend, the more old they grow, the more effective they are. What are your comments on it in today's date?
Right. Okay, so doctors get at least a body to operate on same way. For the engineers also, we get this project. Project is extremely important in that sense. Is for you guys to play with. I mean, even my son, he now in his year, like this is like 10 years, my son is there. He takes all the electronic gadgets and tries to connect these to each other and try to create new thing out of that, like transformer or something. So that way we at least, I mean, we as much you put up your time into the practical experience, that you will make more successful and more your confidence will increase, and that way you will have a very good potential, and that will make you more successful.
Thank you, sir. I think that answered the question. We have another question.
Yeah.
How difficult is it to customize a Linux system to meet only the specific needs of a certain embedded system without extra features of it, which consumes a lot of memory and processing power?
Can you please repeat your question?
How difficult is it to customize a Linux system to
Mhm.
meet only the specific needs of a certain embedded system without extra features of it, which consumes a lot of memory and processing power?
Right, right. So that for that, as I said just now, that you can have a very optimized solution called as an emulation platform. They are available in market. If you guys want any help or don't get that, I'm more than happy to help you. I can find it for you guys. So there you don't need so much of memory, though there is no need of having a complex big uh, boards or designs to purchase. Very smaller platforms are there. Like I would tell you, I think you guys already know the Raspberry Pi subsystem. So Raspberry Pi subsystem, you get the four different pieces. One is the IP, small credit card size of board you get, and then you have to plug your keyboard and mouse, all those wirelessly you can connect to that and create your system and just load that Linux operating system onto that. So that is very simple and minimal platform you can utilize. There is no need of going to the bigger boards and complex systems.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Anybody
Hello.
else with any questions? You may please
Yeah.
put it on the chat box.
Hello, sir. Ghanshyam, sir.
Yes.
What is difference between, sir, VHDL and Verilog language?
Okay, this is a good question. So VSDL is and Verilog. They serve the same purpose of coding. Only thing is VSDL was more into the UK side. First, VSDL came, and Verilog is towards more from the US side. So it's not like there is just a library difference, VSDL and Verilog. There is if you go for the designing codes, for the even right now also, I would say VSDL. I would not say that VSDL has got obsolete. It is still there, but most engineers go with the Verilog because that was, as you guys know, English language. Like everyone has their own native languages, Marathi, Hindi, Tamil, or Urdu. But still, we go with the English language with our because that is universally everyone. It is easy for everyone to communicate. The same thing happened with Verilog. There are more engineers and more people came with Verilog usage. Because of that, it got evolved and landed into system Verilog, UVM, some latest technology into that. Otherwise, VSDL language and Verilog language have equal potential. But still, we have right now also in my projects, I do use VSDL libraries. There are some advantages with the VSDL libraries, which you will get to know when you use it in the project execution. Okay, but predominantly Verilog is being used.
Any difference between in synthesizer? Actually, hardware generation is very less in Verilog and very high in VHDL.
No, that way there is no difference at all.
No
both
difference.
both have equal. Yeah.
Both.
Only the libraries that people because what happens is people have their libraries developed into the VSDL languages and they get used for so many years. And if I want to use a particular library from a BIST library, let's say, of a particular company, let's say ST Micro BIST library I use. If their engineers are from UK and they have those engineers using that VSDL language for developing that library for so many years, and then I have to no option than to use that VSDL library. That's it. So while using it, you just have to include use VSDL library.all at the start of my code. That's it.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Welcome.
Another. Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Students, you have any questions?
We have one more question, sir.
Yeah, sure.
Is it true that the roles related to drivers for processors are evergreen and high demand?
Actually, your voice is breaking. Can you please repeat your question?
Is it true that the roles related to making drivers for processors are evergreen and in high demand?
Okay, drivers for the processors. Okay,
yes,
this is good question. Actually, I worked. This is a very recent experience that I have for the Blaze. This is a graph processor company that I worked in Hyderabad. So there were two divisions there. One is a software division and another one is a hardware division. The software division was very, I mean, more than 70% of the headcount in that company was software. I was very surprised at why so many engineers are there into the software, and just 30% are there for the board and hardware part, like me. Then I slowly got to know that the company has already that hardware platform, and they just want to maintain it and do the work on upgrading it, and they don't need so many engineers. But the software part has a very much potential into that software part, in the sense the driver. Okay, the driver they were developing for the graphics processor has so much potential. I will give you some examples. During the project design, we found towards the tape out, when tape out in the sense where the chip was just getting fabricated. Towards that end stage of our project, we found few bugs. Okay, the tape out stage is where we do the mass production. We already have a test chip. We got that silicon test chip, and we tested that chip and found some bugs, some issues, some defects. Bug is a defect. And then now to fix that defect or that bug into the hardware is not so easy. We have to go all the way through all that complete cycle of physical design layout, and then create so many iterations of PD, physical design testing. That takes a 3 months time. And 3 months time is very, even every one day is a very costly for semiconductor, any semiconductor companies. There is so much competition outside. So to fix that bug, where is the possibility? There is no other alternative than to fix it into the software. You can hide it behind that software driver. So as I said, this device driver, the software part, is so much important. The device driver, when you implement it, it is not only for the functionality of that chip, the normal functionality of the chip, even the bugs if you found towards the later stage, this software driver is the part where you can fix them. And the software drivers are actually players towards the not only the graphics, but the speed also. Okay, because once the hardware platforms, the VLSI engineers, they fix it and make it robust. After that, if you have to, what is the threshold or the speed for the speed, what is the criteria, what is the blocking thing, is the software driver. So having that faster and faster for that software driver is very important. So any of you guys have interest into that side, please go ahead and explore that one. I can help you on that front also. You can reach me on my mobile number as I mentioned.
Okay, sir. I think that answers that question. We have another question.
Yeah.
During your initial phases, it's not easy for you to achieve everything. There might have been certain failures. So how did you deal with the dilemma?
Okay, this is very good. Okay, so okay, that was the time when okay, I will give you my own experience. I think I can see Bhagwat sir also here. Hello,
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm here with you. Yes, sir.
Okay, so so there is during that time when we face such a dilemma that time it was like in 2000 year when there you might have heard of a World Trade Center incident, and with that so much of crisis and recession happened. Okay, and so many people lost their jobs that time. Even the quantitative aptitude, Infosys, Wipro, those were the companies who were making engineers. I mean, they were recruiting with those quantitative aptitude and such kind of tests. That was always the R.S. Agrawal, that book was always there in all engineers' hands, and they were giving that aptitude test. And that time I went with this VLSI that domain, work into that VLSI domain. and I was exploring there. Many of my friends were telling me not to go in that path because so many other people are going towards other all my colleagues are going to the Pune and giving all these interviews, campus interviews. Why you are staying here into this Kolhapur and remote area and doing this VLSI trainee engineer job? But I kept myself focused because I always said to myself that I know what I have to do in my life. I have to continue my career. I have to pursue my career in this VLSI domain only. And I, from that day till now, I have not lost my focus. You have to be like a horse, like horse, there is a, they called as a jhapad that you put on that horse, both eyes. I have to stay focused on your what you have to do in your life. So for last 18 years I have I'm staying focused on my VLSI work. I'm enjoying that. First of all, you have to remain, you have to enjoy that. You can't say that, as I said, like you can't just go on hopping. Okay. So even if my friends and colleagues were saying that don't stay here, why you are just earning hardly 1,200 rupees per month. Why you are staying there? And rather than that, go to Wipro, they're giving you 20,000, 25,000. No, I said no. I stuck to that part. And Praveen was my colleague that time. He know all those struggling years of my life. So that's why, you have to stay focused. You cannot, hard work during these years of your engineering academic. And after that 1 or 2 years more, you have no option than to do the hard work. Okay. Then only you will have a peaceful life going further.
Thank you, sir. Due to constraints and time, this is going to be the last question for today.
Sure.
Before that, I have a small announcement for the students. The attendance link has been posted on the chat box. Please be sure to fill it. So the last question is, to start VHDL coding, which platform is required? Xilinx or Cadence? Which of it is better?
Okay. I guess it's Xilinx or Cadence, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So these are just the kits. Okay, Xilinx or Cadence. They are just the kits. That is on which you do the programming. There are n number of other such a kits are there which you guys can purchase. Okay. During the academics, when you're going to the college and performing the Xilinx working that VHDL programming that you are doing on the Xilinx or Cadence platform is okay, but you can have your own platforms. Xilinx or Cadence, anything is fine. It's not like you can go with the Xilinx. It has some advantages, or Cadence, they have some different advantages. No, it's like what important is your innovative idea. Okay. The VHDL program that you are writing, that what happens is different vendors provide a different facilities on their board. Xilinx might have given, for example, I'm telling, Xilinx might have given a 16x2 LCD display. Cadence might have given a bigger display of 64-bit, 64x2, or they might have a keyboard interface also. So that's just a facilitation. That is providing the facility on the kit, that it might be different from vendor to vendor. But otherwise, you can have your own different platform also you can purchase and work on that. There are n number of kit providers outside.
Thank you, sir. Cheryl, any question?
No, sir. I guess we are done for
Hello?
today.
Hello,
Yes, sir.
Ghanshyam sir. Ghanshyam sir.
Yes, ma'am.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
So I see since so many years back.
Yes. A long back before
we
I
meet in
moved to
the
Hyderabad.
2013 somewhere.
Exactly.
2007 in Delhi.
Right. After
Yeah.
that, I visited Rajesh Shishau College, but
Nice to see you once again. Thank you very much.
Yes, same here.
Please continue, Shreya.
Sir, Cheryl, just 2 minutes before going toward the vote of thanks, I just conclude the discussion, which sir started with a very great things that how he landed on VLSI and how he stuck with the focus. So he used a very best word that when you landed, your focus is very, very clear. And sir, from my side or from the conclusion of seminar or the discussion, that's why I put the title discussions of implementation of project. It is not a seminar. So it
Right.
is an open discussion I found, and a lot of people, they are interesting to work with you. So
Definitely.
as you guided or during the discussion, you tell me that sir, if you have any student which they want to work with the product levels, so definitely you guide all the students. So
Yes.
on this platform, I announced that ki sir is guiding the only the action taker students. So those who want to work with the sir and the companies which is in a product level company, so I
Right.
appreciate that those who work with the sir or the best companies to come up with that best logic. In this way, sir, I thanks to you for spending a valuable time. Thank you, sir. Over
Thank you.
to August, sir.
Yeah.
Sheril,
Thank you.
Uh,
Thank you very much.
good on. Hello, may I audible?
yeah.
Yes.
Sheril,
Yes.
you want to say something?
Yes. Hello. Good morning, one and all. I, Dr. S.C. Vagas, on behalf of Rajarshi Shaw College of Engineering, Tathode, Pune, extends a very hearty vote of thanks to dynamic personality Mr. Ghanshyam Kumbar for sharing his valuable thoughts. Thank you very much for exploring how project help us become a better learner and better engineers, how to implement PLC on PLD technology as like a CPLD, how to select project topic, project to product journey, ASIC design flow. So this session has given informative in this regard. Thank you very much, Ghanshyam sir.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you,
very
sir.
much, sir. Thank you, sir.
I hope it was informative to everyone. And
Yes,
please
sir.
reach me on my mobile number and or email address that I mentioned here. Or any
Yes, sir.
any of you guys have any innovative ideas or you want to explore any innovative idea, don't limit yourselves to only the VLSI or semiconductor specific area only. There are so many areas, medical, agriculture, everywhere you can have n number of applications. Just go with some seed in your mind and you will have a plant out of
Actually,
it.
sir, our actually institute is autonomous institutes,
Right.
and we are in this third year levels. I am
Yeah.
designing their CMOS design and verification subject,
Right.
and in that subject, I want help from industry side,
Yes. Yes.
which regarding practicals and the different tools also. I will
Definitely. Yeah.
discuss in
Yeah.
future with you.
Definitely. Definitely. I'm there to help on that.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Jadhav, sir, you want to say something?
No, sir, no. Thank you very much, Ghanshyam.
Thank you.
So really nice to see you. And
Same
this
here.
is
Yeah.
your talk is not only the informative, but it is a motivation to all of our students. And we can get our students may get some motivation from your journey of life, and
Right.
definitely they will follow the whatever the suggestions we are given in this particular talk of the presentation. Really,
Yes.
thanks to you. In spite of your busy schedule, you join with us, and thanks to the Professor PM Gate, he had coordinated very nicely, and thanks to our
Yes.
department and the students. Although their examination starting from the Monday onwards for the third year engineering students, still a lot of students are joined, and they enjoyed your discussion of this project implementation, all these things.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Over to Shirel, and thank you from my side.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Nice word. Thank you, sir.
So
Yeah.
from students' side, I'll just thank you, sir, so much for your knowledgeable words. So
Thank
we're
you.
really privileged to hear from you about your projects, your journey through them, because a lot of people come up and they give a lot of sessions, but to talk about your own project, your own journey, very few people do that, sir. Thank you
Right.
so much for sharing with us, sir. The entire session was so well explained that before a doubt could even occur, it was already clear. Thank you so much
Okay.
for the wonderful session. I am sure we will be really motivated to create our own project and create our own visibility. You have to quote our words,
Right.
and we remain lifelong learners. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Cyril.
Thank you, sir. Ghanshyam
Thank
sir.
you, sir. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Okay, good day,
Bye.
sir.
Bye.
Small announcement. I request you all to please switch on your cameras to capture this moment. Please.
Yeah.
Just wait for 2 minutes. Everyone try to switch on their camera.
don't hesitate to switch on the cameras, because everyone know that we don't get the saloons are not operating. So everyone,
Yeah, yes.
especially gents, don't hesitate. We know we are using trimmers.
Sir, students are joining from Pune, outside the Pune, so this is possible only to the online sessions.
Right. I hope everyone is safe and taking care.
Yeah, yes. Please take the snap, Sherry.
Yes, sir. Just a moment. Say cheese.
Nice to see you all.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Beta Cheryl. Thank you
Thank you for inviting me.
coordination.
Thank you.
Thank
It
you.
was nice talk. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
शेरिल एंड करना है 5 मिनट में.
Yes, sir. We may.
एक लिंक आपने शेयर किया है ना, सो
Yes, sir. The link has
फॉर 2-3 मिनट, सो
attendance.
यू नाउ. थैंक यू बेटा, बेस्ट कोऑर्डिनेशन. हॅलो. हा जबरदस्त. हे काय झालं, माझं मोबाईल तर नेटला अटॅच आहे ना, त्याला कट केलं की ते मुलांची लिंक कट होईल, त्यामुळे त्या नाही उचलला. नाही, नेटला बरं झालं, प्रॉब्लेम नाही आला आणि बेस्ट झालं सेशन. बेस्ट. मी रेकॉर्डिंग आहे, मी युट्यूबला टाकतो ती रेकॉर्डिंग. युट्यूबला चॅनलवर टाकतो. तुला टाकायचं तर तुला पण शेअर करतो. बेस्ट झालं, बेस्ट, एकदम जबरदस्त. अरे भाई तू काय नाही नाही, बेस्ट झालं बघ ना तो तुझं. हा ना, नाही, दॅट फिलिंग्स इन वर्ड्स ऑल्सो आय सीन बेस्ट आहे. आणि करू काय चांगलं, बेस्ट करायचंच आहे आपल्याला. ओके ओके ओके.